Darkest blessings, soul family. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much for all the support for the channel. In case you didn't know, my name's Ty, and this is Spiral Monolith, a channel dedicated to magic, witchcraft, paganism, the occult, and the tarot. And these sections, which I call cat chats, are basically just a chance for me to jump on the microphone and just talk about whatever's going on in my mind and in my life at the time. And boy, oh boy, has it been a bit of a time for me. These past couple of weeks, I'm just really trying to get my life together, and it's been a bit of a rough ride. It's been, finding myself dealing with a lot of stress, a lot of drama, and hoping that things are going to, things are really starting to look up. Things are starting to look as though I'll be back on my feet and back out in the big bad world, hopefully within a couple of months. Trying to find myself a steady income and trying to find myself another place to live. So that's pretty much the reason why I haven't been as active on my channel as I was kind of hoping I would be. But fear not, I've got a lot of really interesting topics kind of backlogged that I would like to share with everyone once I am in a more stable and more nourishing place in my life. Not that I haven't been nourished fully, and not that I haven't been nourished in the situation I'm in at the moment. It's just about time that I venture back out and get back on my feet. So that's what's kind of going on for me. And this kind of really hitting a point at the moment now that I'm starting to come out of this limbo period that I've found myself in, that I'm starting to make some big decisions about what the next kind of year or so is going to look like for me. I have been asking some big questions about, the type of life that I want to live and the types of people I want in my life as well. And, vast majority of my friends and family who have supported me in getting myself back together have been, absolutely amazing and wonderful and beautiful. And I really couldn't have done it without them. But there have been some people who, just seem to have this real crab mentality of, when you put, some crabs in a bucket, if one of them tries to crawl out of it, the other crabs will try and pull it back down. And, there was even a point where someone, fairly close to me recently told me that I was basically, all my mental health issues were all my own fault and I was never going to amount to anything, and that I should just give up on my dreams entirely, which is a pretty messed up thing to say to someone. And, but instead of it making me despair, it really kind of made me kind of double down on, starting to build a life for myself that I really want to live. And, I do have kind of a rule. Well, I'll backtrack a little bit and say that firstly, the main thing that I wanted to say jumping on here was that I've been thinking a lot about failure and how much of a crappy concept it is, and how really there's no such thing. And, I think that we bandy around the word failure in terms of, when somebody didn't make it, when somebody wasn't successful, when something didn't go right in a person's life, then they've failed, that they're a failure and that they should just kind of, just stop trying. And to me, if you're not successful at something, you haven't failed, you've learned, you've learned a lesson. You've learned that maybe something wasn't right for you, that, a path that you were going to go down just wasn't what you were expecting, or maybe you could, maybe you didn't achieve the results that you wanted to achieve, and that you can do something differently next time. I used to get really bummed out about the fact that, I had a lot of kind of goals and aspirations and dreams when I was younger that, haven't eventuated. And it's not the type of thing where I can rule them out completely, but I know the ship has, kind of sailed on a couple of them. So, when I first went to university and I first kind of left home and ventured out into the big bad world, I really, really wanted to be a filmmaker. That was what I wanted to do. I wanted to make movies, and I worked really hard in my studies, and as at film school, and really tried to get my foot in the door in the industry. And it felt like I was really getting somewhere with it at one point. But when I saw just how kind of messed up the film industry was, and all the hoops he had to jump through, and just how insanely stressful it was, like, I kind of decided that, maybe that's not for me. Maybe I'll just keep it as like a fun hobby, and, try not to become an industry cog, become an industry drone or whatever, and just kind of toil away in that, system forever. Seems like, you ask anyone who works at, one of those big movie studios who are just getting their foot in the door, it's rough, man. It's a really rough industry to break into. So decided that wasn't for me. Decided that, you know what? If I can't do the practical side of this film thing, maybe I could, go to the academic side. And, I was really into film theory. I was really into media studies. So I thought to myself, hey, maybe I could be an academic. Maybe that's a viable career goal for me. And, it did get to the point as well where I was definitely being groomed into that line of work. I was, getting all A pluses. I was, star student and hobnobbing with my lecturers, and it really felt like I was winning awards, and it really felt like I was going to get somewhere with that. But I think yeah, it really got to a point with that as well, where I just saw how kind of ruthless and how cutthroat that line of work as well, and that line of work was as well. And yeah, when you see just the stress and the, apparently academics have a higher rate of mental illness than any other kind of professional occupation in the world, which isn't surprising, man. Which isn't surprising. You're constantly having to fight for your right to stay relevant, and constantly having to, yeah, it's just a lot to take on. So I decided that wasn't for me either. And and when I look back on it, I do despair a bit about, what could have been. Maybe I could have, just tried a little harder. Maybe I could have just, yeah, just kind of found it within me to keep going with those aspirations. But, thinking about it a little harder, the better part of me just kind of realizes that those just weren't the paths for me. And I don't regret the, all the hard work I did to kind of go down, to kind of start on those career paths. I don't regret, all the things I achieved when I was at film school and when I was at university. I mean, it was really the greatest time of my life. And, so much so that I even contemplated going back to study and doing another master's this year. If I wasn't going to find work, then maybe I could just, go write another thesis and, waste some more time and money and health on that. I mean, but yeah, but I think I've decided that for the next 18 to 20 months or so, I really just want to, earn some money and do my magic and do my creative projects on the side, and just really work on bettering myself as a human being, getting my health and fitness and well-being back together, and living a life full of magic and art and creativity. And, I have this thing ever since the things I went through with filmmaking and academia. I've always kind of thought to myself, dreams die when you state them out loud, which is, I don't know whether that's a good statement or not, I wouldn't know whether that's a good thing to say or not, but I've got this thing where I feel like I'm more successful if I just quietly kind of, lock myself away and work on my projects and not show them to anyone until they're awesome. I seem to have a lot more success. It seems that, yeah, every single time I say, this is my dream, this is specifically exactly what I want to do, like, for some reason, I just don't achieve it. And whether that's self-sabotage or whether that's just, I don't know. It's kind of like, yeah, I don't know, kind of like some spirit that if you say its name out loud, it's gonna, jump out and eat you or something. It's better just to like keep quiet and, yeah, just just work on your goals and work on your projects and not let anyone throw you off, because that's the other thing, like outside energy does kind of really throw me off as well. And I think that's kind of the same for a lot of people. So yeah, so I've been thinking about that. I've been thinking about the type of people I want in my life. And I really just want, I don't particularly mind being a loner. I don't particularly mind living by myself and being by myself for long periods of time. I think I could very happily live in a cabin in the woods somewhere, and it'd take me about 6 or 7 months before I was just like, oh, maybe I should go talk to someone. Maybe this isn't this isn't a healthy or sustainable lifestyle. So yeah, I've decided to, for the next year and a half or so, while I get on top of my health and I get on top of, yeah, as I continue working on my magic and my spirituality, and I continue working on my creative projects, and I earn a bit of money and save a bit of money. Like that's basically my plan for the next year and a half. And I really want to stick to it. I really want to see how it goes. And I just don't want anyone or anything to throw me off my course, because, you know, I have been doing a hell of a lot of work this year to really get myself on a path where I feel proud of myself, and where I feel like I am on my way to being the person that I was born to be. And, I feel like I'm closer to achieving that than ever. And it's going to take a lot more hard work. I mean, if there's one thing that I really have to, well, if there's another thing I really have to work on, it's that I do kind of maybe work a little too hard. I can't remember the last time where I really had a day that I did nothing, which probably, maybe isn't healthy considering my considering the state of my health at the moment. But, I'm really trying to focus more on that and give myself a break. But also I recognize that there's a lot of hard work to be done. There's a lot to be achieved, and there are a lot of goals that I really need to start working towards in earnest. So yeah, that's basically what's been going on with me. And I feel like as soon as I'm back on my feet, and as soon as I'm into some, stable routine where I'm able to, allot out some time for things, I'll be able to get really cranking with this channel, and I'll be able to share my journey with everyone a lot more vividly. And I really want to bring people along for the ride, just to show that, I've had so many setbacks and so many quote unquote failures in my life. This is, that I feel like if I can pick myself up, and if I can, make something of myself, then you can do it too. And I'm really starting to realize what my purpose is in this world, what I've been put in the physical realm to do. And, I'm not going to say too much, but I am just going to dive into it head first. I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to just keep on swinging and just battling my way through it. And I'm really, it's going to be, I know there's going to be some hard times. I know there's going to be some lonely times. I know that it's going to become maybe a little overwhelming for me, but I feel like this is something that I really need to do for myself. I mean, even things like just kind of taking a break from drinking, and I've decided that I'm going to quit booze for the next year and a half or so, and also relationships and dating as well. I feel like I'm a bit of an addict with those things as well. I'm kind of constantly craving sexual and romantic kind of connection. And yeah, and I feel like that, before I explore that realm, that aspect of my life again, I really have to learn to, you know, love myself and be cool with myself and be comfortable with myself before I, give myself to another person again. I mean, to be honest, I don't know whether, long-term serious monogamous relationships are for me at all. But that's something maybe I'll talk about in another video. I won't reveal too much of myself just yet, but I know I can't do standard, just status quo relationships. They've just never worked for me, and I don't think they ever will. I think that's been a hard lesson learned through, so many difficult relationships, shall we say. But but I think through my magic, yeah, through becoming a witch and, coming into my spirituality and discovering magic and all that kind of thing, it's really kind of shown me that I do have a purpose in this world, that I was put here for a reason, and I am not going to ignore those signals and those callings and those signs anymore. It's time that I followed them, and yeah, it's time that I became the person that I was really meant to be. And so it's not going to be an instant overnight thing. It's going to take a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication, but I'm ready for it, man. I'm ready to dive in, and I'm ready to, over the next year and a half or so, I really just want to, yeah, do everything I can to work some magic and work some wonder in this world. And I want to bring all of you along for the ride with me. And I'm very excited about it. So, yeah, so that's pretty much what I wanted to jump on here to talk about today. I know that this is kind of some of you might be thinking, well, this is a channel about magic or whatever. What's he talking about? What's he oversharing all his personal life details for? But really, this channel, as well as being about magic, is about, I really want to document my own journey in my personal life as well. And I really want to document how much I am transforming and will continue to transform as a person. And hopefully it'll resonate with someone enough that to show them that, you can do it too. There's always an opportunity to get back on your feet and to find your purpose, because that's so important, whatever it is. And like I said, if you try something and it doesn't work out, you haven't failed. You've just learned something, and then you pick yourself up and you try something different, or you try something else, or you just try again, taking a different approach to it. And it's no harm, no foul. We've all got so many opportunities, whatever happens in our lives, to pick ourselves up and to have a fresh start and to try again. So that's really what I've been learning this year, is no matter how rough things get, there's always the opportunity to try again. So yeah, so I hope everyone out there is doing well. I will be back on Monday for your weekly tarot reading. I'm not sure whether I am going to be doing another sort of topical, vlog type video at any point in the near future, but I do want to try, and I've been having some more really beautiful connections with some deities, and that I really want to talk about at some point soon. I had a really amazing first contact with Lucifer not too long ago that was really, really beautiful and really inspiring and really empowering. Can't wait to work with him again. And yeah, it's been a hell of a time, Soul Family. It's been a hell of a time. So anyway, I just want to extend all my love to you all, whatever's going on in your life, whatever you're facing at the moment. You got this. You're going to get through it. And, and I hope you're all doing well. Lots of love to you all. Take care. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And I will see you on Monday for your tarot reading. All right. Many blessings. Catch you later.